I want to run through some of your notable stunts over the years and just get you to recall what you remember from each one. Piercing your cheek with the fish hook.
We did it twice, that piercing thing. The first time was a professional body piercer doing it. So there's Pontius and me and this body piercer guy.
Right. The second time you did it yourself.
Well, the second time Pontius helped me with it. It was most, yeah, I think I got it started and Pontius muscled it through. It was, it was 2006 and we were shooting Jackass #2 and I injured my back getting thrown downstairs on a bellhop cart. And I was unable to participate in a lot of the bits. And so this shark thing was really important to me. Everyone else was getting all this great stuff, and I had like next to nothing. And so yeah, we put the hook through my face again, and we cast me out. And this time, a mako shark was coming for me. And so I'm I jerk, and in that sort of jerking motion, I accidentally kicked a mako shark in the face. Which I suppose saved my foot.
What about leeches on the eyes?
Knoxville was mad at me because I proverbially tapped out too soon. He wanted to see it go on for longer. Oh, he's on my eyeball. No, wait. But the thing
it looked pretty brutal when it was.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. But what was interesting about the leech on the eye thing was that I don't think the leech was nearly as painful or uncomfortable as just keeping your eye open for a long time. I mean, you get to a certain point with your eye open, you got to blink that thing.
Right.
And I think what I was up against on the leech bit was just the duration of having my eye open. Far more than the leech itself.
Okay. What about walking over the tightrope over an alligator pond with raw chicken in your underwear?
I was under the impression that my job that day was to get bitten by an alligator.
What do you mean you were under the impression?
I just figured like, okay, we're gonna do tightrope over alligators. Like to me that just kind of meant, okay, I'm getting bit by an alligator. I kind of thought that was the thing. And so, what a treat that got to be, arguably an iconic Jackass moment. And I didn't get hurt at all.
The longest you've ever been electrocuted before would be what?
The interesting part about that was that when you see the police shoot someone with a taser, they're in control of it, and it goes for 5 seconds. And at the police discretion, they can hit you with another 5 seconds. But the civilian version of the taser is designed so that you can shoot your assailant and drop it and run. And so the civilian version, you hit and it just keeps going for 30 seconds. It gives you 30 seconds to run. And when I brought up the idea of getting tased for my first comedy special, I was told, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is I have a taser. The bad news is I've got the 30-second version. But I was concerned that now 30 seconds is just going to kind of get boring. 30 seconds is a pretty long time.
Right.
So we did a 30-second Q&A. My buddy dressed up as like a TV show host, like in a suit, and he came out and he did like a lightning round of questions, like while I was the lightning round, like what's your name? Still, and so that made it really funny.
The porta-potty slingshot.
I have this like super irrational fear of roller coasters and bungee jumping and certainly skydiving. And so, like, if anybody was going to get in a porta potty and be catapulted, like, with bungee cords, like, up into the sky, like, I'm the one that's going to react the most. Mm-hmm. like having just gotten sober, like I felt really strongly that I've survived enough at this point in my life that like dying over a stunt would be disappointing. You know, like death and paralysis were like off the table for me, but anything else I'm in. And with the 5-point harness, the Bungee porta-potty was like safe, and sure, that's probably the poo is more dangerous than anything. And OSHA determined that you can't be covered in human poo, but they were okay with dog poo. And somehow there's a company, I think in Los Angeles, that will sell you as much dog poo as you want. And so they bought enough dog poo to fill a porta potty, and that's what it was. It was dog. Pretty classic.
Maybe this is less of a stunt. Scuba diving on a cocaine bender.
Oh, I got scuba certified on a cocaine bender. Like, there's nothing legal or that should be legitimate about my scuba certification. It's supposed to happen over a course of so many days. I think we crammed it into a 3-day period, which invalidates it. And on top of that, I did not sleep for that entire 3-day period. I just kept doing drugs the whole time. I remember like little to nothing about, you know, whatever the mechanics of scuba. I don't like, I should not be certified.
Didn't you almost get yourself into like real trouble?
The closest I've ever come to death, like actual death, I think was scuba diving. We were somewhere, and I can't remember what part of the world, maybe, I don't know. We're somewhere, some part of the world, and we're getting ready to scuba dive with sharks. I heard them say the sharks were at the bottom, so I just go to the bottom. I keep going to the bottom, and I don't know if I was coming up or down, or what, but at one point someone grabs my fin, and you know, like I don't know what's going on, and when we get up, they're screaming at me, you know, you motherfucker. You almost died, and I almost died trying to save you because I was doing it wrong. You know, like, you can't go down too fast or something. And I was like, dude, they said the sharks were on the bottom. That's all I was, you know. So yeah, it's up. And like, I continue to be able to scuba dive. Like, I don't know if I'm in the system, but but yeah, like I continue to be able to scuba dive, and I should not.